everyone, welcome to another episode of Crash Cinnamon. This is your host McKenna as usual. Thank you for joining us, thank you for being here, and thank you for the support. We're growing, it's amazing. So today I'm talking about standing on the shoulders of giants. So people, I'm still feeling rough. This cold, this flu, whatever is not shifting. And I was actually reading the paper this week and they're saying this it's going round and it's lasting longer than normal. Thankfully it's not COVID. I wouldn't wish it on anyone. However, so my voice is still groggy, still, so bear with me. I didn't want to wait until, I'm all better because I'm trying to be consistent and there's so much that I want to share in this season and I don't want to miss the schedules as I had actually planned. There's some things have changed that I was supposed to put out before and I will put out in the next season. It just some things need to change. You will all know later. I was talking about like I was saying, we are going to talk about just a little discussion about giants. I don't know about you, but growing up, giants were always depicted as evil, not the cool people, even you can't associate yourself as a giant. It was seen as something bad. However, when the phrase was coined, standing on the shoulders of giants, it kind of gave it the positivity that is. And people, you've been around the earth for a while. You've been going around this sun, doing those revolutions. So, everything has a good side and a bad side. And today we are talking about giants and giants in your life who have literally sacrificed, paved the way for you to be where you are. Okay, for you to have the liberties you have, the freedoms you have, the rights you have. I mean, we're talking about the suffragettes, the women who just, wow, I honor them because without them, as women, we would not have right to vote, we would not have some of the liberties we have today. And I think that's why sometimes history is how you see it and how you view it and who writes it and why books are important, why the writing profession is one to be revered and to be respected more than it is. I think we sometimes see writers and we're like, writing, we admire the more skilled, physical skill jobs like engineer, whatever. But the one who puts pen and paper to write down what happened wins, because it's what we read and you'll be reminding us for time and time again. And they'll write about that engineer who did this and that. So let's talk about the giants and the people who've sacrificed, the people who've worked tirelessly for you. Maybe it's your member of parliament. I mean, this sadly in the UK, there's a member of parliament who got stabbed, and from the information that is given, he looked like the person who really works for his constituents. People voted for him. He was definitely in the public. He was accessible and sadly he was stabbed at his own clinic because here in the UK they have clinics where you can come see your MP, see your MP and discuss the issues that you're facing. And it's so sad, it's really sad when you think about if an MP can be stabbed and killed. What about you? Where is the safety? Anyway, I digress. So I was thinking about particular giants who've made it easy. Even, for example, the podcasting world, it's so easy now. But those who went before us, those who had to really, really, really plow the land, put the bricks, set up the whole system. Now you can record easily. But then, before, it wasn't that way. And even how to get a recording, to publish it, have it aired, it was ridiculously hard. So technology has come along, and we thank those giants who made it easier for us. I want to speak about a specific giant, and it's not, your normal celebrity or whatever, but I was just reflecting on people who've made life easy for me so that I can be where I am. And the two people I can think of, and I'm standing on their shoulders, and it's such a significant part, is my parents, and I really want to honor them today because they have literally done what has scared them the most: moved countries, studied, pursued passions, left high-paying jobs and securities that people would think are mad, all because they wanted myself and my brothers to have a wonderful future. And because of that, they've made it easy for me to have an education because they laid the foundation for me already. They made it possible for me to be financially independent because they already trained me up and they're already financially independent. So thankfully, I'm one of those children who won't have to inherit debt and all these kind of things from parents because they've made sure they live intentionally even with their money and where they invest. And life is made easier in parenthood, some aspects of it, because of what my parents have done, and they've laid out some things, for example, even they help me with childcare, they do errands, they do, oh gosh, and above everything else, they've taught me friendship, so it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's easier to make friends because I see how they honor their friends. They honor friendships. They will go far and wide to come through for their friends. So it's easy for me to be there for my friends and do what is necessary for them in their season because I've seen it in my parents. More so, I was actually thinking they're actually going to move and relocate to Kenya, and I'm so scared at first. I was so scared at first thinking about it because those who don't know, I came here when I was a teenager with my family and everything, and over the years, everybody has been moving different countries. Others have gone back to Kenya and all this kind of thing. So essentially, I'll be left as the only person from that family here. And I was so scared, and I was thinking, how will I make it? But then I thought, my parents went to different countries, settled, did what they did. One was left, they actually exchanged there's some years, my dad went abroad, my mom had the kids, and then when my mom went abroad for a while, and actually she's been going everywhere and anywhere, my dad will always take care of us and ensure everything is done. I never even used to worry about feminine things like sanitary pads or whatever. My dad had sorted that out, and that made me so secure in myself because I stopped fearing I can't approach my dad if I'm having cramps or whatever, because he'd already laid down the path for me that it's okay. And actually, I remember mom sitting me down when I was 12, I think, and she was saying, I'm going away for a while. If you need anything, if you need pads, if you need Panadol, whatever, painkillers, please talk to your dad. If you're not feeling well, talk to your dad. Yeah, he knows, he'll understand, he'll take care of you. And I was just like, this is so dope, And when you think about it now, it may feel miniature to you, but I know lots of girls who suffer with period shame and all these kind of things because they fear talking to their father about it, or things have not worked out. It's this is another podcast altogether. But I want to thank my parents because they've made me have ambition. They've made me love who I am. Oh my God, like my parents affirm me all the time. I remember my dad always telling me, don't worry, because I have really bad acne, and sometimes it really comes through. Those hormones just like, I am here, sis. And I remember my dad would just look at me and say, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, don't you know you're this? He would call out and say, you represent the blood of this, call out my ancestors and stuff, and say, don't you know your family, you're coming from this blood and this. And it was so amazing, and sometimes I'd still struggle, but he'd remind me who I am, and I am who I am from, and who I belong to, and it's just great. And I remember even when my mom, I wanted to go to do my master's, and I couldn't fully afford the full amount, and she said to me, I see how you struggle, how you've taken care of yourself, because I paid my way through undergrad. I decided not to take a student loan, so I worked and paid for my fees. And I remember she said to me, I saw how you worked so hard, so I want now for your master's, you just chill, be a student, don't work, be a student, I will sort you out. And my mom did, I mean, like, she went far and above. I was bawling, as and she partnered with me, and she was like, okay, this is what I know you have, so this is where I come in, so you make sure you have everything you need, get the best accommodation there. And I did. I lived, those who visited me when I used to do my master's in Bournemouth, no, I lived in the best accommodation. I had the best time ever. It was great. It was a fantastic time of my life, honestly. And when I think about the sacrifice she made so that I am not working during my master's, and she would tell me, I know maybe you might not have money for this, and then she'd like put money in my account, and I'm like, why are you doing that? I said I know maybe you've run out of cash and you wouldn't tell me. And it's little things like that, that it doesn't have to be huge, but when I think about such sacrifices so that I didn't have to work, I was concentrating, and I really did well for my masters. I really did well. I was so shocked by my results and some of the recommendations I got, and it's just because I was okay, I was comfortable, I was not worrying about things, I had the moral support. Sometimes my mom would call me at 6 a.m. when she's left work. She's like, just checking on you, how are you, pray with me, So I just want to thank these giants and honor them, and just celebrate them for taking huge risks, for paving the way, for ensuring that we have a solid foundation, my brothers and I, and just, you did so much. Like, they have, honestly, I don't even know, today is just an emotional one, but they are the giants I want to celebrate. I remember this is the last story before I finish this. When I was doing my undergrad, my dad, and this is the other giants, there is a manager when I was working as a careers advisor, he heard that I wanted to go to uni. And I was so scared of how to tell him, because it was my first proper professional job, and I was soaring, I was growing, I was doing so well, and I'm so grateful to God. And he stopped me, by the way, at the staircase for our office, and he said, I hear you want to quit because you want to go to uni. He said, do you know universities? You can actually do an undergrad, part-time, there's, and you don't have to leave. We can change your contract so that, you have the hours, and just go call your uni and see if they have a part-time place. And I did, and I started, and he made sure if I needed extra days, and I just want to honor him today as well. He's a giant, was gone, who made my life easier for me studying and going to uni. And he'd even tell me, you don't need to print off anything here, just do it. Sadly, he passed away a few years, and I was able to go to his funeral and just pay my respects and just say, this man enabled me to go to uni and get an education, and it's enabled me now to provide for my family and be in the community and do all the things I've been able to do for my community because of what he did. So I honor that giant. So I remember, because everything happened so last minute in changing from a full-time to part-time, my father took me to my open day, and he took me to my orientation day, actually we used to call that, and he stayed with me. He went from each lecturer who I needed to speak to, my where we had the law school actually is now a coffee shop and everything, but it's amazing. Anyway, he stayed. We went everywhere, every class. As I was ticking off who I need to speak to, what I need to do, he went with me. And I don't even know how he was allowed, because back in that day, parents were not allowed. It was only student, but again. And there was a lecture I had to stay in for an hour and a half, and my dad stayed in the car. He just read a book. It was Winter People. Well, not winter, it was autumn. It was a very cold September, I remember. And he stayed there, waited for me. It didn't rush me, took me home. We had been together since almost from 4 o'clock till 9 p.m. He was with me, and I will never forget that. He would do amazing things where he'd rush me for different things which I needed to do for my course. So I honor you parents today, my parents, and you're the giants, you're the shoulders I stand on, and I am successful because of your sacrifices and your love and your determination. Because I saw you guys graduate, saw your pictures when you did your undergrad and all these things even before I was born, and it gave me ambition. And I just honor them. And you guys who are parents or guardians or your mentors or learning mentors or learning assistants, whoever you are, you don't know the impact you're putting out there. Let me put it there. You're paving the way for some people. The sacrifices you're making now, you might think it's nothing. For you teachers, for you people who work in immigration, amazing. The laws you put out, the lawyers, goodness me, the policymakers, the activists in this world who are continuously challenging the social evils, the governments that are just doing their own thing. I honor you. So today celebrate the giants who've gone ahead of you. They don't have to be anyone great. If it is, well and good, just honor them today. And you choose also to be the one, pave the way for others, leave that legacy. Whether you like it or not, you're intentionally leaving a legacy. So, not intentionally, but you are living a legacy. So do it intentionally. Okay? Thank you for joining me on this episode of Crush Cinnamon, and see you on the next one.